Welcome back to another episode. I know in my last episode, which was my England versus Brazil friendly preview for tomorrow's game, that I would see you on Monday, that I would see you yet tomorrow after the game for my review. I remembered while uploading my preview that I hadn't made my initial predictions for the Champions League quarterfinals, which as the draw was made a week ago, and I was supposed to do a initial reactions video that after the draw was made, but I decided to postpone it I decided to do it a few days later, but then I forgot that I had to do it. So here I am doing my Champions League quarterfinal initial predictions. So the four quarterfinal ties are Arsenal, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid City. And the four ties in the quarterfinals of the Champions League are Arsenal and Bayern Munich versus Bayern Munich, Real Madrid versus Man City, Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund, and PSG versus Barcelona. So I'm going to go through each game and I'll give you my initial predictions for who goes through in each of the ties. When the quarterfinal games actually come, when we get to the Champions League quarterfinal games, I will be giving you my predictions for the first legs and the second legs. So this is my initial predictions for the Champions League quarterfinals, but then when the Champions League quarterfinal ties actually happen, I'll be doing a prediction video for the first legs, and then when the first legs come around, I'll be doing a prediction for the first legs, and when the second leg come around, I'll be doing predictions for the second legs. So for now, I'm just going to be giving you my initial predictions for the four quarterfinal ties, and when the games come, and then when the first legs take place, I'll do a video predicting the first legs, and when the second legs take place, I'll do a video predicting the second legs. So yeah, for the Champions League quarterfinals, you get this video with my initial reactions for each of the quarterfinal ties, and then you'll get two more videos. One video where I give you my first leg predictions for the quarterfinal ties, and another video where I give you my second leg predictions for the quarterfinal ties. But for now, we're doing initial reactions. So my initial predictions. For my initial predictions for the Champions League quarterfinals, let's start with the matchup between PSG, led by Kylian Mbappe, and versus Barcelona. This is going to be an interesting tie between PSG and Barcelona, two heavyweights of European football. PSG still looking for their first ever Champions League title, and Barca hoping to win the Champions League for the first time since 15-16. So this is going to be a really interesting tie. I think PSG I think Barcelona are in a bit of a mess right now. Are in a bit of a mess right now. They're struggling in the Liga, and yes, they comfortably got past Napoli, but we all know Barcelona haven't been the greatest in the Champions League in recent years. If I had to give a prediction now for who I think will prevail and go through to the semi-finals, I'm gonna edge PSG. I'm gonna say PSG edge past Barca to get through to the quarter semi-finals. The second quarter-final tie is between Atletico Madrid and Dortmund. Just like with Barcelona and PSG, this is very close to call. Like, Atletico Madrid doing amazing in Spain are probably the favourites, but never right off Dortmund got comfortably past PSV, and so we shouldn't write them off. In terms of the game, I think it'll be the closest tie in the quarterfinals, because I think both Dortmund and Atletico Madrid will go over the two legs. But if I had to pick one of the teams to prevail, I'm gonna say Atletico Madrid, because I just think they're a better team than Dortmund. So PSG Barcelona will be one. So far, I think PSG and Atletico Madrid will be two of the four teams in the semi-finals. Let's go to the third quarterfinal, which is between Arsenal and Bayern Munich. Harry Kane returning to face the team that he was a rival of when he was at Tottenham. So this is going to be interesting. Kane maybe I think the story's written for Kane to go back and haunt his former rivals in Arsenal. In terms of this game, I think Arsenal have a really good shot, though. I do think Bayern are a good team, and I do think Bayern are a good team, but they're struggling in the Bundesliga. Arsenal are a good team, and they're doing really well in the Premier League, top of the Premier League right now. Yes, they've got a big game against my boys, Man City, who we'll talk about a little bit later. We'll talk about in a minute, which I think they'll lose. Still think Arsenal are having a better. Arsenal are having a better season than Bayern Munich, even though I think Arsenal will lose on the 31st of March to my club, Man City. When we meet them, when we play them at the Etihad, in the Premier League. Arsenal, Bayern Munich. This is going to be hard because, like I said, Bayern are struggling. Arsenal in the Bundesliga, Arsenal are doing pretty well in the league. But then again, like I said, it's Kane returning to Arsenal. Obviously, played for Tottenham, Arsenal's rivals. So it just feels like it just feels right that Kane will come back and get by past Arsenal. But as I say that, and Bayern just in the Bundesliga, they're just not good. It's just not doing good. They're 10 points behind Leverkusen. Leverkusen are pretty much going to win the league. I don't see Bayern end up. I don't think I see Bayern end up turning that points tally around. I just don't see Bayern winning the Bundesliga. Yes, because they're just, like I said, Bayern just are struggling in the Bundesliga. They're 10 points behind Leverkusen. That's mainly down to Leverkusen being so good. Like Leverkusen are still yet to lose a game this season. But Bayern should be doing better in the Bundesliga in second. Remember, if Leverkusen win, and just don't forget, if Leverkusen win the Bundesliga, they'll be the first team since Dortmund under Jurgen Klopp to win. And like I said, if Leverkusen do go on to win the Bundesliga, they'll be the first club to win the Bundesliga since Dortmund under Klopp. That wasn't Bayern. So Bayern, obviously, the last time Bayern didn't win the Premier League, the last time Bayern didn't win the Bundesliga, Jurgen Klopp was manager of Dortmund. It was Dortmund. The last team to win the Bundesliga that wasn't Bayern Munich was Dortmund under Klopp. So Leverkusen win the Bundesliga this season. They'll become the first team since that Klopp team to win the Bundesliga that wasn't a Bayern team. So Leverkusen could break a record that stood since I think it's been just below 10 years since Bayern last didn't win a Bundesliga. So Leverkusen could become the first team since the Dortmund team since Dortmund under Klopp to win the Bundesliga that wasn't Bayern Munich. So yeah, Bayern, like I said, struggling in the Bundesliga. Leverkusen are probably gonna be the first team, like I said, to win the Bundesliga that wasn't Bayern since Dortmund did it under Klopp. As for my prediction for this Arsenal, my initial prediction for this Arsenal Bayern Munich game. Oh my god, fuck me. Sorry for swearing. This is really hard. Arsenal, great team, doing really well in the Premier League. Bayern not doing great in the Bundesliga, but they've got Harry Kane, who's smashing it in terms of goals, in terms of top goal scorer in the Bundesliga. I could massively change my prediction when it comes around to the first leg predictions video. I think for now I'm going to go with Arsenal. I'm going to say Arsenal just about edge past Bayern Munich to make it to the semi-finals. So far, I have PSG beating Barcelona, Atletico Madrid beating Dortmund, and Arsenal beating Bayern. That is three teams. The three teams that I've predicted to go through in the three of the four matches are all the home teams in the first legs, like PSG, Atletico Madrid, and Arsenal, who I've predicted to get past Barcelona, Dortmund, and Bayern to go to the semis, are the home teams in the first leg. So Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, and PSG, who are my first three teams in the the first of my four teams in the semi-finals, all play at home in the first leg. So that's crazy. So yeah, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, and PSG, who are my semi-finalists so far, all play at home in the first leg in their ties. PSG against Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, PSG at home to Barcelona, Atletico Madrid at home to Dortmund, and Arsenal at home to Bayern Munich. However, that will change because the final game we're going through in this initial Champions League, in this video, my initial Champions League quarterfinal predictions is the big one, the biggest game, the biggest tie of the quarterfinals this year. Real Madrid versus my boys, Man City. Last season's game, City have played against Real Madrid multiple times in the Champions League. In the last, City and Real Madrid have a complicated game-to-game rival, a complicated history in the Champions League. So it all started. City and Real Madrid's history in the Champions League all started back in COVID season, back in the season that City went to the final and lost to Chelsea. We played Real Madrid in the round of 16 and we won 4-2 on aggregate. We went 1-0 down at the Bernabeu and then ended up winning 2-0. And then at the Etihad, two costly mistakes from Rafael Varane gave us a spot in the quarter-finals despite a Benzema goal in the second leg. So yeah, back in the first season, City made it to the final and lost to Chelsea. In the 2020-2021 season, where we got to the Champions League final and lost to Chelsea, we played Real Madrid in the round of 16 and beat them 4-2 over 2 legs, thanks to 2 big mistakes in the second leg from ex-Real Madrid centre-back and current Man United and France centre-back Rafael Varane. Then a season later, in 21-22, we played them in the semi-finals, and we all know what happened. We won 4-3 at the Etihad. And in the second leg against the Bernabeu, we played really well. We scored late on. We scored a goal through Riyad Mahrez that put us on the verge of the Champions League final. But unfortunately, 2 late goals from Rodrigo took the tie to extra time, which Real Madrid eventually went on to win through a Benzema penalty. And then last season, City's luck changed. Obviously, last season in the Champions League, City did well in the group, beat Dortmund at home, beat Copenhagen at home, got 0-0 draws against Dortmund and Copenhagen away, and won both games home and away against Sevilla. Then we faced Leipzig in the round of 16, drew 1-1 with them in Leipzig, but then smashed them 7-0 at the Etihad. And then in the quarterfinals, we played Bayern Munich, beat them at the Etihad 3-0, and then drew away in Bavaria 1-0. And then in the semi-finals, we got drawn against, we played Real Madrid. And this is where City's luck against Real Madrid, and then obviously we all know what happened. The first leg between Real Madrid last season, so obviously, like I said, those were 2 of our last 3 games against Champions League ties against Real Madrid. Our last Champions League tie against Real Madrid, like I said, was last season Champions League, which we ended up winning. We were obviously, like I said, I went for what we did. I said what we did in the group. And then we beat Leipzig 8-1 on aggregate, beat. So we topped our group last season. City topped our group. Last time my team City topped our group with Dortmund, Sevilla, and Copenhagen. We then beat Leipzig 8-1 on aggregate over 2 legs in the round of 16. Beat Real Madrid 4-1 on aggregate over 2 legs in the quarters. And then we came up against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. It was a very good game. Real Madrid took the lead through Vinicius Junior with an incredible strike, but then a pretty much identical and then just as good of a strike, and then City equalised with a strike from Kevin De Bruyne, which was just as good as was just as good as Vinicius finishes. And then the second leg came across, and it was crazy. So yeah, we've played Real Madrid 3 times in the last We've played Real Madrid 3 times in the last 3 seasons in the Champions League. 2021, where we won 4-2 on aggregate. 22-23, where we lost 5-3 on aggregate. And 6-5 on aggregate. And last season, we played Real Madrid again in the semi-finals. And after a 1-0 draw in the first leg with 2 wonder goals, one from Vinicius Jr. and one from Kevin De Bruyne, we took Real Madrid we went to the Etihad and played Real Madrid and beat them 4-0. The last time we played Real Madrid in the Champions League, we beat them 4-0 at the Etihad and won the semi-final 5-1 on aggregate, and won the semi-final 5-1 on aggregate to make it to the final, which we would end up going on to win against Inter Milan. So this is going to be an interesting game. This is going to be really interesting, especially with the last meetings between these two teams. As for my initial prediction for this Real Madrid Man City game, I'm going to back Man City. I'm a Man City supporter. I've been for many, many years, and I think we will just edge par. I think we'll struggle at the Bernabeu, which is in the first leg, but then I think we'll come into our own at the Etihad. So my initial semi-finalists for my Champions League semi-finalists right now are PSG, who I think will beat Barca, Atletico Madrid, who I think will beat Dortmund, Real Madrid, City, who I think will beat Real Madrid, and Arsenal, who I think will beat Bayern Munich. So as it stands right now, my semi-finalists, Champions League semi-finalists are Arsenal, Man City, Atletico Madrid, and PSG. And if that were to happen, the semi-finals would be PSG versus Atletico Madrid and Arsenal versus Man City, which would be incredible. Which would be 2 incredible semi-finals. Okay, so that's it for this episode, and that is it for my initial predictions video for the Champions League quarterfinals. I'll see you, and like I said in my last video, I will see you tomorrow. And now this is the last video. So yeah, that's it for this. That's it for my initial reactions video on the Champions League quarterfinals, and I'll see you tomorrow for my England versus Brazil friendly review that will be filmed and uploaded after the game finishes. But until then, subscribe to the channel and click on videos, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great Friday evening. But until tomorrow's review for one of England's biggest games so far, leading up to the Euros, I'm out. Peace. Bye. Oh, and don't forget, like I said, to subscribe and click the notification bell to get all my videos. But until tomorrow, I'm out. Peace. Oh, and please watch my recent video. In one of my recent videos, I revealed videos that we'll be doing in the future. So please watch that. I can't remember what it's titled. Let me just quickly check the video that I want to shout out. But yeah, there's a video that I made that I want to shout out quickly before I do leave, that I filmed a while back. That I filmed about a few weeks ago. Let me have a look. Here's my channel. View channel. Please check out my Champions League round of 16 second leg predictions that was released that was uploaded 2 weeks ago, where I told you about 6 new video announcements, including 4 in a new series. If you want to know what I'm doing, if you want to know about videos that I'm doing in the future, please check out that video. But until tomorrow, for my Brazil England review, I'm out. Subscribe to my videos, and don't forget to check out my Champions League Under 16 second leg predictions, where I reveal 6 new videos that I'm planning to do in the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. But until tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Bye.